Today's story comes from the relationship advice subreddit and was posted by Resent 2000 and was titled "My Girlfriend, 24 female, resents me, 23 male, due to the fact we split expenses 50 by 50, but she has a lot more expenses than I do, and my family pays for unexpected expenses and vacations. How do you work through resentment? My girlfriend and I went to college together and started dating 3 years ago. My girlfriend graduated 2 years ago, could not find a job for her degree, and decided to stay around in the city where our college is and continue to wait tables. I graduated last year. We moved in together starting last September. We make roughly the same amount of money and split shared expenses, rent, utilities, groceries, 50 by 50. My girlfriend has a number of expenses I do not have: car payment, car insurance, health insurance, cell phone, $80,000 in student loans, etc. I do not have those expenses. My parents paid completely for my college, and those other expenses are paid by my parents. Also, I have a credit card on my parents' account to use in case of emergencies. My girlfriend's birthday was in May, and I threw her a surprise birthday party, and a number of our friends came into town for it. Apparently, during the party, she expressed her frustration to some of our mutual friends about our relationship. Afterwards, I received some messages from some of these friends saying I needed to talk to my girlfriend. They did not go into details about what she said. I asked her about it, and at that time, she admitted she had frustrations, but it was on her to deal with them. I told her I would like to discuss, so we did. She said she's constantly worried about money, and I am not. She said it is hard not to notice the contrast between our lives despite being basically at the same point in life and having the same income. She feels like she did the responsible thing and got a STEM degree. Her degree is in biology, but got no offers from it. While I went and got a degree, English, that was simply the easiest to get. That is why I chose that degree program. But I have a job I love. I work for myself as a private music teacher, and she hates her job. I asked her if there was anything I could do to make it better. She told me no, but that she's just frustrated is all. I tried to inquire more, but she resisted going into more details. I have an older brother, 25 male, who I am very close to. He recently got engaged, and our set of mutual friends and my brother decided they wanted to do a trip to Hawaii to celebrate. I told him I probably could not go because of the cost, but for them to have fun. He told my parents, who then told me to put the trip on the credit card. We are leaving in a week. This pissed off my girlfriend, and in a heated moment, she said, "This is why I resent you." She has tried to walk that back, but it felt like that comment is an expression of her true feelings. How do you work through resentment? I love my girlfriend very much, but do not know how or what to do from this point. And we have to decide in the coming weeks if we are renewing on the lease for another year. Relevant comments. Opie on why his parents providing support when he graduated college and a career. Opie says, "It costs my parents little to nothing to have me on their car insurance, about $30 a month difference. Cell phone family plan, about $25 a month difference. And my dad's work pays the health insurance premium. And my car is paid off and in my parents' name. Same car they gave me when I started driving at 16. Commenter 1 says, "It's a better deal for your parents to have you listed on their car insurance and phone plan. But are you paying your parents for your phone and car insurance? If you're not, then you should be at this age, out of college, and with a career. Your financial situation is not equal to your girlfriend's if your parents are supplementing your income by covering a large portion of your expenses." Opie says, "My dad refuses to take my money. I offered to pay it when I was in college, and they refused. I do not think our financial situations are equivalent, but I also consider it precarious to make financial split on something other than income. One of our biggest fights prior to moving in was her decision to purchase the car as a graduation gift to herself. She made it clear it was her money and her decision, and she was 100% right. But I think anything other than 50 by 50 of shared expenses means we are effectively combining income, and we would have to revisit the car." Commenter 2 says, "I have to admit, it sounds like you guys moved in together before you were truly ready for it. Moving in with a significant other is much different than just having a roommate." Opie replied, "I agree, it is different than having a roommate, and I cover things and do things for her that I would never do for a roommate. One of the goals of this arrangement was to help her financially. She had a roommate move out mid-lease, and for about 5 months, while finishing school, I was also paying to cover that roommate's share of the rent. My girlfriend is doing better than she was when I moved in, or a while post-graduation. She was going into debt. But I did not expect to help subsidize these other expenses. Downvoted commenter says, follow up. Why couldn't you go because of the cost? You make the same as your girlfriend, and she also pays for car, phone, insurance, and loans, which means you have the equivalent to put in your savings. Are you just blowing your money all of the time in front of her? Opie replied, I do not make the exact same as my girlfriend. We make roughly the same, as I said in my post. And I meant pre-tax. As I said in the post, I work for myself. I have my own business. That comes with business expenses and overhead. Once you deduct those and taxes and whatnot, I make pretty significantly less take-home income. I do spend about $200 a month for studio time for my band. But no, not blowing through money. At the end of each month, after business expenses, taxes, rent, utilities, groceries, gas, a 3% IRA contribution, dates, I have about $300 a month left over. OP on excluding car payments if girlfriend did not purchase a car, part of her graduation gift. OP says, if you exclude the car payment, $680 a month. My girlfriend has more left over at the end of the month than I do. Commenter 3 says, but you can't exclude the car payment, can you? What would happen if she got rid of the car tomorrow? Is it easy to commute around your town without one? To get to work, supermarket, etc.? Oprah replied, yes. I regularly use public transit and go days without using my car. I had suggested going down to just my car when we moved in together because I so rarely need it. OP on his girlfriend's living situation prior to moving in together. Can girlfriend move in with her parents to save money? OP says, she lived with girlfriends last year. One of the girls stole from her. When confronted, lied about it, moved out mid-lease, and I had to help my girlfriend cover that girl's portion of the lease. Her parents are not an option. OP breaks down the share expenses. OP says, rent, $1,650 a month. This includes a $75 a month per car parking fee. Utilities, about $500 a month, electric, water, internet, streaming services, etc. Groceries, about $1,100 a month. This includes food, paper products, beauty products, cleaning supplies, basically anything you can buy in a supermarket. I also pay about $300 a month for our weekly date nights. Regarding food, I eat more, but my girlfriend eats strictly organic. So, not sure how it breaks down price-wise. I cook 90% plus of our meals. Eating out is almost exclusively a date night activity, if at all. OP on if he and girlfriend spends on anything else that are not in their shared expenses, including his band. OP says, my band is not a hobby. It actually has generated revenue for me. Not much to date, but some. Not sure what constitutes a hobby to you, but my girlfriend spends well over $200 a month on her hair and nails. And yes, she contributes about 5% to retirement. She will not tell me how much she has at the end of the month. How much she pays for her car is a point of contention, and I am able to support myself. I simply would need to do more lessons to pay those expenses for me or charge more for my lessons. I'm below the market rate where I am. About 25% of my students for private lessons learned about them through my band. My band does not directly pay much, but it has significantly helped my business. What happens if OP's parents did not cover his expenses? What would he be paying for? OP says, I do not know what I would be paying. I was offered a teaching job when I graduated that would have paid for these as part of my benefits package. They still want to hire me. I did not take that job due to the encouragement of my girlfriend and parents. Commenter 4 says, you're 23, so I understand your parents helping you since they can. Have they talked about when you'll be taking over your car payment, car insurance, etc.? Eventually, it will happen. Have you budgeted for what life is like at that point? Might help give perspective on how your girlfriend has to live. No one is wrong here. Your girlfriend is most likely jealous you have a family that can financially help you. You don't really understand how it feels to be 100% on your own, while your girlfriend does. Opie replied, my car is a 10-year-old Camry. No car payment. I can pay the car insurance now. I have been offering to pay it since I turned 18. They refuse to accept payment. I can pay my cell phone too. They refuse payment. My dad's work pays health insurance. I will need to do less stuff with my band, raise my lesson rates. I am currently well below market, so lower income families can afford me, and or take on more students, and I have plenty that want to teach them. I also have the option of an official teaching job. There's a local private school that keeps trying to hire me and offers great benefits. But the plan right now is to keep doing what I'm doing to try and see if my band can make it work and it becomes our full-time job. My parents basically take the position that I am young and have no kids, so this is the time period in life for me to take a shot or risk. Opie on how much it costs for his college and other things. Opie says, my parents paid about $30,000 for my college. Do I need to repay that immediately, or am I given the option to opt into an income drive plan that caps my monthly payment? Assuming I am allowed to pick my own car insurance, health insurance, cell phone plan, and can opt into the income-driven repayment plan for loans, I can start paying that tomorrow. It would mean $20 a month for cell phone, $35 a month for car insurance, $90 a month for health insurance, and $175 a month for student loans. Will this help my girlfriend in any way? No. Will it somehow prove I am an adult? No. Will it do anything? Also no. And I have not asked my parents to buy me anything since I was living in their house. Opie on taking his parents' money for Hawaii with his brother. Opie says, I take their money to go on a trip with my brother. I did not ask to go on this trip. I did not pick the designation. I was asked by my brother to go on a last-minute trip, told him I cannot afford it, and then he told our parents, and they said they would pay. Should I have told my girlfriend she could not go to the bachelorette party weekend for her sister back in December because her sister paid for her? Does being an adult mean you can never accept gifts from family? Once a week, my parents pay for dinner for me and my girlfriend. Should we tell them no? About twice a year, my mom takes my girlfriend, my brother's fiancé, and my sister on girls' trip. My mom pays for everything. It is during these trips that my girlfriend gets most of her new clothes. Should I tell her she cannot go? Opie responds to a comment about if it's fair that girlfriend is dealing with financial struggles and he is not. Opie says, I save $300 a month, each month after everything I pay for my business and our share expenses. On my own, I'm not doing great financially either. If I took all that $300 and put it into shared expenses, she is still struggling. Everyone here seems to think I live some fancy lifestyle while she lives like a peasant. That is not the case. She drives a 2-year-old full-loaded RAV4 with exactly a $678 a month car payment. I have a 10-year-old Camry. She did not pay any of her student loans during her first year post-graduation when we were not living together because she could not afford it. She is now paying but still behind. She also has credit card debt from that time. The biggest difference between us is that I do not have financial anxiety because of my family, while she does. Unless she had the same support system I do, she would still have that same financial anxiety. The reason my parents pay for what they do for me is to allow me to spend these years trying to see if I can make my band become my full-time job. I had a job offer that would have covered all those expenses teaching, but would not allow me to spend the time on the band to work on music. She is expecting a financial commitment from me. She did not communicate. We talked about our split of expenses when I moved in. We agreed to this split. My plan at this point is to break up and focus on the band. This is not working for either of us. It has been 2 years of me financially supporting her. I also do all the household chores except her laundry because she is very particular about it. If she got rid of her car payment, she would have more money than me at the end of the month every month. She refuses to even discuss that with me. This is not a temporary financial incompatibility. It is more than that. I really was not seeing it until a comment forced me to run the numbers. I might break the car subject again, but if she's not willing to compromise there, then I see no choice but to end it. Ultimately, nothing will change if these are the financial choices she is making. But if you think being used like this is love, then I hope that love finds you. Update. As mentioned in my comments, my girlfriend graduated from our college 2 years ago, and I graduated last year. Right after she graduated, she purchased a brand new car. The car payment is exactly $678 per month. During her first year post-graduation, my girlfriend lived with a couple of roommates. One of the roommates moved out about 1.5 months into the lease. While finishing my last year of school, I helped pay that roommate's portion of the bills. At the encouragement of one of the commoners, I went through and ran the numbers on expenses for my girlfriend and I. All of them. What it made me realize is that had my girlfriend not purchased that car, that I would have never had to provide financial support during my last year of college. Also, in our present situation, if she did not have that car payment, she would have more money than me at the end of the month. I'm leaving tomorrow for my trip with my brother. A couple of days ago, I sat down with my girlfriend and told her that I wanted to discuss finances. I told her that I think, in terms of her struggling financially, the most logical thing is for her to get rid of her car. As I did when we moved in together last year, I offered her the option of us sharing my car. I use public transportation often and can go days without needing to use my car. Also, since I have my own business, I have greater control over my schedule, and we can figure out a schedule. She refused that plan. We have had a number of fights about the car, and she thinks I'm being an asshole. Buying that car for herself, on her own, was a great accomplishment for her. I told her it just is not affordable for where we are. I told her that unless she is willing to offer some compromise, I think we need a breakup. She told me that I screwed both her and I by not marrying her after I graduated. She told me that after my older sister and my BIL got married immediately after college, while they were both going through grad school, my parents paid for all their living expenses, rent, utilities, groceries, etc., and she thinks that same thing would have happened if we were married or at least engaged. But now, with the breakup, she is just screwed. She cannot afford her own place, and most of our friends are in relationships, just are about to get married, etc., and she will have nowhere to go. And she still loves me despite her frustration with me. I told her I think we were just incompatible financially and need to end things. She cried, and I left to her friends and been staying there since until my trip. This morning she called and said she would be willing to sell or get rid of the car. She really has no choice but to do it anyway. I told her I still think we need to end things. The second story is from Relationship Advice subreddit. It was posted by Throwar on Lit Seashore and was titled My 28 male, fiancé, 30 female, confessed to hooking up with another guy shortly before our wedding. I am struggling. How can I move past this? I'm 28 male, feeling super lost about my relationship with my fiancé, 29 female. I'd appreciate a fresh perspective. We've been together for about 3 years now, but have been friends for 5 years. We met in the same workplace friend group. She's my best friend and my partner in every way. Our relationship hasn't been without challenges, but we've been a solid team. Last December, my fiancé asked if we could take a break so she could recalibrate. She said she was struggling with finding her purpose outside of our relationship. I've never believed in the concept of breaks, but I wanted to support her. So I agreed, and we set boundaries. Essentially, we wouldn't see other people. The break wasn't long. By Christmas, it was already over. She said it was a mistake, and she wanted us. And things were good. Our communication was stronger, and like no time apart had ever occurred. We were engaged by New Year's. My fiancée didn't want to wait anymore. She wanted us to start our lives together in marriage. This past week, she's been anxious and blamed it on wedding jitters. Then the other day, she sat me down and confessed to hooking up with some guy during the break. She met him on a dating app, and they had sex a couple of times. She claims the guilt's been eating at her, and she opened up to her sister, 31 female, a month ago. Apparently, her sister pushed her to come clean before the wedding. When my fiancé stalled, her sister warned she'd tell me herself if my fiancé didn't. It was a lot to accept at once. I barely said a word. I was too numb, and I'm still wrapping my mind around everything. Like my fiancé has had a complicated connection with sex due to past experiences. When we got together, she wanted us to practice celibacy, and that evolved into celibacy until marriage. She believed us waiting would cement our bond and elevate our relationship. We focused on other forms of intimacy. The no-sex stuff was never a deal-breaker for me. Sex wasn't the basis of my love for her, nor was it why I wanted to be with her. And she was well worth the wait in any capacity for me. But I'm struggling now because I don't understand how she can turn around and give herself to some random guy in a way she's never given herself to me. How celibacy was so important to her, but she gave that away for him. She swears the other guy meant nothing, and it was the biggest mistake of her life. That she ended the fling because I'm the one she's in love with, and who she wants to be with. But I don't know. Nothing she said really landed for me, to be honest. I asked if she would have told me if it wasn't for her sister. She said she doesn't know. She promised to do anything to rebuild trust and repair our relationship, no matter how long it takes. She still wants us to proceed with the wedding. She said she believes in our love and how we can withstand anything. How this doesn't have to define us. When I didn't engage, she just cried and kept asking me to say something. I told her I needed to clear my head. I don't like speaking when my emotions are all over the place. I tend to regret it, so I prefer to gather myself. But my fiancé hasn't respected my request, and when I don't engage, she's hurt. And now she's also super affectionate. She's always been affectionate, but she's different with it now, if that makes sense. This doesn't feel like real life. I never expected this betrayal from her. We're supposed to be wedding planning and everything that comes with it. Our wedding is around the corner. We're having a modest gathering, so the planning wasn't that long. I feel so numb to everything. I'm in love with her, and she's the woman I wanted to share a life with. But for the first time, I'm questioning everything. I don't even trust myself anymore, to be honest. I feel so stupid and like such a joke. I'm just lost. How do I move past this and navigate our relationship? Relevant comments. Tricky Score 713 says, if you guys agreed on not seeing other people during the break, then why was she on dating sites? Is she bipolar? Sounds like maybe a manic episode. She made a careless decision with a stranger. I think you should move on. Unfortunately, whatever it was that caused her infidelity may creep back up if she doesn't figure it out. Hope you replied. The only reason she gave me about the dating app was it was a mistake. She won't elaborate further on it. Z1618 says, she claims to want to rebuild trust, but won't answer direct questions. Dude, she had this guy lined up prior to your breakup. Didn't pan out how she wanted, so she went back to her safety net you. So many red flags in this story, it boggles the mind. Break up and move on. She's going to do this again. It might be 6 months or 5 years, but she's going to fuck other dudes. That's a guarantee. My Dirty Alt 79 says, that's not a mistake. That's a series of choices and actions. Getting the app, creating the account, figuring out what to fill in for every section, the pictures to show, then browsing the guys, and choosing which one she was interested in recalibrating herself with. She made all of those conscious decisions before any guy liked her back. They're chatting and eventually agreeing to meet, and that's only the one you now know only a bit about. If she won't elaborate further and had to be forced to share what she has, then there's no way to move forward with her. Secret Traumas 92 says, she's not your friend, much less your best friend, and she's not wife material. She broke the boundaries y'all set right away and would have never told you if she wasn't forced into it. I wouldn't be surprised if she planned that break just to do what she did. Her excuses are complete bullshit. She made you wait for sex, but gave it up to him right away twice. And cheaters always say it meant nothing. Mark my words, OP. If you marry this woman, hell, if you stay with this woman, you will regret it. Be smart. In this relationship, walk away and never look back. Your fiancé is a POS. Presenibus says, sex is what I heard with an intonation suggesting that it's no big deal. Newsflash, it is. Eternity Warden says, especially to someone who insisted on no sex until marriage. Even if I could forgive it without that detail, no fucking way I could after being made to wait for 3 years. As someone who knows how hard it can be to wait a long time for sex, that would crush me. Update. Thank you to everyone who reached out. I, 28 male, wasn't able to reply much, but I appreciated everything. I had no one to talk to about this whole situation, not even our friend group, because I've been embarrassed. A lot's happened since my original post, so I wanted to provide an update. After taking some time to myself, the numbness is wearing off. Every emotion has been hitting at once. Emptiness, sadness, anger. It's a rotation, and at first I was mad at myself, but now I realize I'm mad at my fiancée, 29 female. I look at her now, and I don't recognize the woman I fell in love with. The woman who was my closest friend for half a decade. She's a stranger. The woman I knew wouldn't do half the stuff she did. She used to be so disgusted with cheaters. She actually cut off an old friend over cheating. Some have asked what my fiancé's complicated relationship with sex is. I won't get too much into it, because it's personal details about her, but she's been badly shamed before, and she feels sex has messed up good things in her life at different times. She never really respected my demand for time to sort my feelings. She kept pushing and trying to use affection. I did end up asking about her hooking up with that guy while we were celibate. She claimed celibacy for us was different because she wanted a pure relationship with me and for us to be our strongest and most connected before sex. The other hookup was more inconsequential. I didn't ask her much about further details on the guy because, to be honest, it doesn't change anything for me. I don't have it in me to be a detective and compare stories right now. The facts are the woman I dedicated my life to cheated and nuked our relationship. I did ask her why, though. She claims that she was self-sabotaging. She felt insecure about our relationship and how she'd be as a wife, and she sought comfort through sex, but it only made her feel worse, and she realized she wanted me. I'm still processing her reasoning, to be honest. I don't know what else I could have done. I always reassured her and told her she's the one I wanted to be with. I'd list everything I loved about her. I never had doubt about her or our relationship. There's a lot I'm still figuring out, but I know I can't go through with the wedding. The other day, I sat her down and called it off. I guess she thought I was preparing to reconcile, so she didn't take it well. She was really broken up. I've never seen her break down nor cry like that. And despite everything, it hurt to leave her while she was in that state. She was just in bad shape and saying she didn't want to lose me, and it was the biggest mistake of her life. She'll never do it again. She asked for us to try therapy. She kept asking for me not to give up on us. I'm not in a place to engage in any reconciliation with her, nor do I have any trust in her. She brought up how I promised I'd always be there for her, but now I'm abandoning her like everyone else has, and how we promised each other unconditional love. I don't think her accusations are fair, and it did sting, TBH. I meant my promises and everything I ever told her, but I didn't just up and leave her. She cheated. She made a decision for the break. She made a decision to download the app, entertain the guy, and have sex with him. We're here because of her choices. The unconditional love was a promise we made at the very start of our relationship. We've both dealt with not being accepted for ourselves or only having conditional love. I wanted to reassure her she never had to be anything except herself for me. That was the basis for the promise, that I accepted her wholly. It wasn't a card to pull for cheating. Another thing that makes this all complicated is that we live together. I planned to stay with family for the time being, but she was refusing to let me leave. Like she threw herself in front of the door and refused to move, and then grabbed me when I tried moving around her. I had to call her sister, 31F, to come get her and talk her down. I've been processing these past few days. This doesn't feel like real life. She always boasted about us, and our relationship meant the world to me. I was never more sure of anything in my life than her. My mindset was already married to her. She's been texting and sending voice notes, asking for forgiveness and wanting to reconcile. I haven't replied. I'm not sure if I can move past this. I've told our family and friend group about the cancellation and breakup. Making the rounds was embarrassing, and everyone has tons of questions. Somehow it hurts more upon each retelling. Our friend group's been mostly understanding, but a few are advocating for me to talk things out with her. I'm not in the headspace to engage them either. I feel like I lost the life we built and shared. How we went from engaged and the happiest we've ever been to this. How days ago, we were just joking about her walking down the aisle with how clumsy she is to now be broken up. I feel so lost, and I don't know where to go from here. I'm still coming to terms with everything. Thank you to everyone who's shown support and empathy. I really appreciate it.